Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Right Time, a Wave original. My name is Bomani Jones. Thanks for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thanks for watching us on YouTube. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars. I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. It is First Fridays with Domonique Foxworth. What's going on, big dog?
Oh, yeah. Not much, man. Just happy that we had the playoffs, that final week of football, man. I know they trying to add more. Like, God, we don't need no more. That for last week was rough.
Oh, no. And it's just, look, man, like my dad always say, everything you own is a bill waiting to happen. Every week of football, disaster is just a little bit closer.
It's just like, it's so, I don't know, maybe, well, no, I feel like mathematically, so the more games you add, the more likely you're going to have irrelevant games, right?
Right.
Like, it's more chance. So, yeah, that's the thing that, it's like, man, there's just so many games that didn't matter with quarterbacks whose names I had never seen before. It's like, what are we doing?
I mean, it feels like such a short-sighted money grab in the end. Like 16 felt like the sweet spot, right? But now we're here. It's the playoffs that they added one more team to that nobody needed that. That's my thing with the playoffs is, hey, man, we don't have enough good teams. It's like when they talk about expanding the NCAA tournament, who you letting in?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it seems so obvious and it seems so silly a decision, but obviously they know what they're doing. They recognize what they selling. They're like, they know the trade-off.
Yeah, I bet y'all gonna watch. Bet y'all gonna watch.
Exactly right.
All right, you gonna talk all that shit, but you gonna watch, but it's my job. I gotta do it for work. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Get your ass out there and get to work, you know? But before we get to the playoffs, and we have a lot there, you are a former Baltimore Raven. You played for John Harbaugh. Here on The Right Time, we expected him to get fired. Were you surprised?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things that you know is going to happen eventually, inevitably, and like it was reasonable for it to happen now, but it still was like, damn, you just got used to it. So like it wasn't something that I was like, I can't explain this. This is so ridiculous. But it's still like, oh, damn, they really did it, especially the time when it happened. Like I was at dinner with Swagoo. Like I had moved on. Well, I guess we weren't at dinner yet. I was headed to dinner with Swagoo, and it came through the thing. Yeah, I'm old. I go to early dinners. And
y'all ain't I was hungry. You know
it was a spur of the moment type of thing. He wasn't planning on being there, but
I'd be hungry on the spur of the moment too. You know what I'm saying?
Next week, what you doing, man?
I'll be here. You know where I'm at.
All right, I'll be up there next week, guaranteed.
You gotta realize Domonique be here every weekend. I see Domonique once a football season.
Not every weekend. It's during the week.
Every week.
Weekend
Either way.
Yeah.
I get. I'm not mad.
It was like 3 times this season.
It was twice. But you know what the thing is, though, and I have to explain this to people about New York. It's 8 million people here. Right? So when somebody come into New York, maybe you see them, maybe you don't. Because there's 8 million people here.
I got to be honest with you. And the same thing that I said to Marcus is, it's not about that there's a bunch of different people to see. It's that I don't never want to do nothing, but I'm always happy I did it. Yes. It's the most ridiculous dynamic that maybe other people understand. Maybe it's my own personal thing. It's like, I'd be like, man, I don't really want to do this. I don't want to go out. I don't want to eat. I want to go to bed. And every time I get together with some friends and go do something, whether it's here or anywhere else, I'm always like, that was nice. I really enjoyed doing that, but I still can't get myself to make no plans.
No, well, that's what it is. It is interesting. Neither of us is the imposing type.
Yeah.
But you have to be imposed upon.
Right.
Right? Yeah. Like, if you are imposed upon, you will go for it, and you will be cool. But it's not. I'd be like, yo, man, Domonique down there, I'm going to let him do what he going to do. No, that is not actually going to work. Nah. Like, that's not that's not
Next
the program.
Week, we locked in. Guaranteed.
We all good. It's all good. But I just realized, I hope that didn't sound as passive-aggressive as it felt, because it really wasn't. Making sure.
Nah.
Okay.
Nah.
You and Swagoo go to dinner. Boom.
Yeah. And as I'm walking, I get the alert that's like, it pops up, and I'm like, oh, damn. And so, like, it stunned me, but it wasn't something that I was, like, completely shocked by. And anybody who, the rumors got louder and louder. So, like, I'm a little bit closer, like, physically and also, like, socially closer to the Ravens than most people. So, like, some of the rumors that are starting to come out and some of the reporting that's coming out about relationships and discomfort and lost connection, locker room, are things that I've been hearing for a little while. And so, like, when that stuff starts to bubble up, especially with a guy who is as talented and important to the organization as Lamar Jackson is, then of course it's going to lead to this stuff at some point. But yeah, it's still surprising.
So this is my question about that because, we talked about it here on a YouTube video that we did. And look, he's been there for 18 years. Like, this happens. This is just kind of what it is. They were highly disappointing this season. They decided it was time for a change. There also appear to be reports that Lamar Jackson has some growing up to do, one might argue. And I think the question I have, and I'm curious your thoughts on, is not even so much like it feels patronizing to say somebody needs to grow up, especially because he's almost 30 years old now. Like, he's a guy that you got to be like, yo, he ain't as young as it seemed like he was. But I wonder, like, I look at Kawhi Leonard in the NBA and I say, oh, you want the money, right? And you want to be able to show up whenever you want because you're the best, but you don't want none of the burden or the onus that comes with that to be the leader, the example setter, right? Like the guy that says how everything is going to be. Like, we get reports that Lamar, they don't even know from day to day whether he feel like practicing or not. And that, to me, from where I stand, feels like something that needs to change.
It's very unfootball too. It's like you brought up Kawhi. Basketball, you hear about things like this more often, where there's guys who really talented and they take advantage of that talent. But you also hear the stories of the guys who have the most success are the guys who are those superstars, but they are reluctant to use that card.
Right.
Like, we set up this operation, but I know what it takes, and I know that the way that I behave is going to impact the culture of this team. I think what you said, like, grow up is like a euphemism for like be more professional, and I don't think that this is a unique work environment. And you come into a ton of power. And to your point, like, he's about to be 30. If you think about it's only in sports, I guess maybe startups where it's a 30-year-old
Right.
that's running all this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, to be the person that everyone looks to for leadership and guidance, and like the vibes in the building today are going to be based on how much sleep you got last night. You 30? That's normally somebody that at the youngest is 55. They maybe 42. I don't know, but like normally it's you've lived a whole bunch, and you've also like worked your way up through these other settings where you've seen what it's like to be there. So like we assume that those guys are ready for that automatically, but also like to the interpersonal stuff, I don't know exactly what's going on in the building. But if you feel like you getting mistreated, and we all can attest to this, you feel like you getting mistreated or underappreciated or whatever it is that you're feeling. And again, I'm not talking about Lamar specifically. It's not anything that I know firsthand. But when you get one side of the story, it sounds like it's one person that's like, I don't really care about this. Not to say that the actions that were reported are justified, but sometimes the actions are in response to something that you are feeling or a way that you feel like you are being treated. Again, it's indefensible. Ultimately, no one is going to. You are also the person who all this is going to hang on, which is why, like, I kind of understand and ultimately came around to like, if this was something that was pushed by Lamar, by all means, because we're not going to look back on his career and say, man, he was the greatest. It don't matter how many Super Bowls he won. He was the greatest. They let him down in this way, that way, the other way. No, we're going to be like, hey, he couldn't get it done in the big moments.
Right. And look, for whatever reason, the Todd Monken thing didn't really work for him. The idea that Harbaugh was like, I refuse to fire Todd Monken. Okay, you must have just wanted to go somewhere else because this is like, got to do what you got to do sometimes, big dog. Like, I know Bruce Arians does not speak to Mike Tomlin anymore based on a very similar situation, but sometimes that just trades you got to make. Like, if the quarterback doesn't want to play for the offensive coordinator, then we got to go get a new offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that sounds to me like it was a piece of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Where it's like one thing about the Ravens has been they've been such a like professionally run and like top heavy like leadership structure from Ozzie, who's still involved, to DeCosta, to Harbaugh, and and Joe Flacco wasn't going to be the guy, and he wasn't good enough, frankly, to be that guy. It's a unique place that this organization's been in. They've been good the whole time they existed, pretty much, like competitive.
Right.
But they've never had a superstar quarterback, and they had like superstar linebackers and defensive players, and quarterbacks.
Right.
Yeah. And so, like, to me, at least, it comes down to that felt like it wasn't about Todd Monken. They've been through so many coordinators over there. Harbaugh been in 19 years. He done hired and fired a ton of people. It wasn't about Todd Monken. It was about, at least to me, I'm in charge. We gonna do it my way. And I'm gonna bend a little bit, but this is the final one. Like, nah, you're not gonna tell me who. And like, I respect that from both sides, where it's like, look, at a certain point, there's some level of power that I must maintain if I'm gonna run this. You're not gonna tell me who I can hire and fire. I want a Super Bowl. If I gotta go for that, I gotta go for that. Like, I respect both of them and ultimately how this panned out.
Yeah, it bees like that sometimes, man. Like, okay, one of us is like, something I would never forget is when Russell Westbrook left Houston and was just like, I don't want to play with James anymore. And James is like, I don't want to play with Russell anymore. And them boys is still freaking frack, man. Like, they just looked at each other, was like, hey, man, I don't think we meant to be roommates.
It beats like that sometimes. Yeah. I said a whole bunch of words, and you quite succinctly boiled it down to the truth. It's like, man, sometimes it beats like that.
Bees like that. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but on Wednesday, Josina Anderson reported that the Miami Dolphins had been in touch with John Harbaugh, which was a bit of an issue because on Wednesday, the Miami Dolphins still had a head coach. Mike McDaniel was their head coach. And the fact that he was still the head coach made me raise the question, or I always say is like, so who does and does not know that this man is black? Apparently, Stephen Ross figured it out because on Thursday, the man got fired.
Ooh, they fired him?
Yeah. McDaniel's gone. I mean, look, man, once you start.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah. McDaniel got fired. Once, it's always bad news when the streets find out that you tried to holler at another coach while you still got the coach.
It's over.
But it raises the question, though. Would Stephen Ross have kept McDaniel if he didn't think that maybe he would have a chance at John Harbaugh? Harbaugh's a fool if he goes and takes that job, just so we're clear. Who gonna throw the ball for them?
Yeah, I don't agree with that wholeheartedly. And it took me I figured this out on air at Get Up, where I was like, everyone who's looking at the most favorable situation is someone who's looking, the people who are looking at like the roster and how close you are. When you're a coach like John Harbaugh, you don't need to prove yourself early on. You don't necessarily, if you look at the jobs that are available, point to the quarterback that you want to be tied to. It ain't there. Like, outside of that, everywhere you're looking for a quarterback, but you point to a spot where there is no GM, which is huge, because no matter where John was going, he was firing the GM unless he went with Monty Austinfort, which apparently out in Arizona they have like a relationship. Maybe that would have worked out. But wherever he going, y'all gone. He got that type of power, right? And he also can build up this team in the image that he wants. I don't know that, like, if Herbert's available, like when his brother took the job, if Lamar Jackson's available, you want to attach yourself to that. But of the available jobs, is there, and like you could take the Raiders job and get Mendoza, but like if it's all about the roster, he's not in a position. If you're a first-year head coach, you're in a position where, like, man, I got to show their ass something this year, or the clock ticks. But I think Harbaugh, what you want is an owner that's willing to spend money and is committed to trying to win, but also don't meddle too much. And you might have that with Stephen Ross, maybe.
So I agree with everything that you're saying, right? First of all, before I forget, Monty Austinfort, hashtag White Monty. It's Monty with an I, by the way. And I looked up a picture because I was like, could go either way. And no. He is actually from Luverne, Minnesota. And I mean, he a white man with a baldy and a goatee. So like maybe on the phone, he sound like Monty. You know what I'm saying? But just throwing that out there. My thing with Miami is, I guess we've just been watching 30 years of various levels of ineptitude from the franchise. And to me, it's not even a matter of them having a great quarterback. How are we supposed to get one? And I don't know what the path is there on it. Because I agree with you on the sum total point and the rest of the roster. I'm with you on, hey, I'm John Harbaugh. Maybe you're going to give me some time. But at the same time, I just saw them run Pete Carroll out of there after 1 year. Now, granted, they look terrible, but I just saw them run him out of there after 1 year.
And like Pete Carroll's he's not John Harbaugh. Just because their resumes are somewhat similar, Pete Carroll was a decision that they made when they couldn't get the guy that they wanted. It wasn't like the cycle started and everyone was like, oh, can we get Pete Carroll? Kind of like, I know it sounds ridiculous now, but kind of like how Bill Belichick was.
Yeah.
Like, if you'd have hired Bill Belichick, you was going to give him 5 years at least to do something, figure something out. And I think that's the same thing. And so I guess the real question is, how long are they under this Tua thing? And you know what? I thought of Sean Payton as the last coach that kind of felt like the way Belichick feels, or excuse me, the way that Harbaugh feels right now. And Sean Payton was like, I'm going to go, let me holler at these Waltons.
Yeah.
Let me holler at these Waltons in Denver and build something up here. I know we are underneath this ridiculous cap restriction because of the Russell Wilson deal. But we got an organization that with young or new owners that got all the money, that are willing to pay what I need to pay in order to make this roster complete, like commit money past time and commit to the facilities, commit to me hiring the best coaching staff that I can in front office, like all that stuff. It's the stuff that we don't talk about when we talk about choosing jobs. But ultimately, if you're going to be there for a long time and have sustained success, like it's not a coincidence that there are certain teams that only pop up in a Super Bowl once in a while because they got hot. Cincinnati.
I mean, keep it real. That's the Giants.
Yeah.
Like they won those. I mean, they won those 2 Super Bowls, but when they won them, it is exactly the scenario that you described, because you hear Harbaugh's name pop up with the Giants. We treat the Jets like a joke, and it's fair to treat the Jets like a joke. I've been living here for the 9th football season that I've done here. They the same, dog. They just wear different colors.
And they also, like, it's branding. It's this branding also.
Yeah, but but the Giants have 4 Super Bowls, right? The Giants had Lawrence Taylor, all of those things. But for however many years, the Giants and the Jets, lo mismo, as they say in Espanol, lo mismo.
Yeah, I don't love that. I mean, that's another one where it's like, if you're going there as John Harbaugh, then that's because you think Jackson Dart has a chance to be a top-of-the-league quarterback. And that's about it. And they have they have tackle that's really good. They have pass rusher or a whole D-line that's really good. Like, they have some exciting pieces. But I think when you're a coach like this, it's a mistake for us to think that the best job is the best roster.
Well, let me ask you this. If the Steelers get ran by the Texans, which is on the board, and they decide to let Mike Tomlin go. Now, of course, the trick bag in this is it don't matter what none of us think. The Steelers' decisions are made by the Steelers, right? Like, I don't even know if they got a telephone line for the fans to call in. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
But let's say they let Mike Tomlin go. Would they dare hire John Harbaugh?
Absolutely not. See, that's the thing, is I think a lot of teams are looking around and are attracted to John Harbaugh because they haven't lived that life. Like, this life of 20 years of being good and competitive, they haven't lived that life. The Dolphins are like, we could be the Ravens. We could lose. We could have disappointment in the playoffs every year. That would be marvelous. and maybe have a chance to win a Super Bowl in 19 years. That'd be tremendous. I guarantee you, it's not only that he's a Raven and that's like sacrilege to the Steelers, it's that we the same. We the same.
Same boat.
And they're gonna look at him and be like, at least we could say, John, that Tomlin didn't have a quarterback. You had an MVP. Don't you bring your ass over here with that. I do not think that the Steelers fans would be excited about. They would make fun of Ravens fans and have a good time with that, but they would not be excited about bringing him in because they live in the same neighborhood. That's not an upgrade to them.
They ain't trying to make no trade. They try to switch it out. They try to bring in Stefanski.
Yeah, they not trying to do wife swap. Not right there. They are not swapping up in that situation.
I'm trying to think, like the coaching thing was interesting because, like, I don't think there was anything that was shocking. The shock was that Mike McDaniel had kept his job, and they went ahead and cleaned up that situation. That one got taken care of. I don't know who the people are that people want to hire, but I have to acknowledge about NFL coaching, NBA coaching. I always say you can go get a broadcaster, a dude off the street, whatever. I got no idea who's going to turn out to be that guy. Usually, like guys that look terrible in press conferences, and in spite of his success, this does include Nick Sirianni. They typically are not the guy, right? Sirianni, again, the weirdest case of any coach of all time. I don't know what it'll take for him to get credit. I don't know what it'll take for him to get fired. I don't have any answers to any of those questions. But I will say this: that goddamn Liam Cohen seemed like the biggest dork in the world at that press conference, and then looked like an even bigger dork when he made Robert Saleh threaten to kill him. Dominique, he appears to be very good at his job.
He does appear to be very good at his job. That's the thing. And it's also, the more I think about it, it's like authenticity matters as far as connecting with players, and connecting with the players really matters. Then after that, the scheme stuff matters. You have to be able to connect with them in order for the scheme stuff to be executed. And like that trust and that commitment, that stuff you don't really like. There've been coaches who've had a spike. So we'll see if Liam Cohen's able to sustain this over a while, but it seems clear that he's had immediate impact. And then there's like so many other variables that determine, like, this season started. I made this point a long time ago, like around, I don't know, week 7 or so, where their offense wasn't quite where it needed to be, and their defense was getting ridiculous turnover luck, and they were still in good spirits. And I was like, you know what? These turnovers are buying them time. It's buying them time because they could have been like under it. They had like 3 wins by then, but they were winning games because they were having good turnover luck. And that's one of the variables that I think put them in this position now where they just ripped off 8 wins in a row, just dominated the Titans on their way into the playoffs. And if, to your point about like the branding difference in the New York teams, is like if the Jags was in a different uniform, the way that they closed this season out with a number 1 overall quarterback playing the way that he's been playing, there'll be no questions asked. We expect them to rip through the playoffs. So, yeah, I think that having a little bit of luck and understanding that all the variables aren't always going to work out. Like, there have been great coaches that have failed before. There have been bad coaches that have had a tremendous amount of success. But right now, it seems like they got a good marriage there. And there's no reason to believe that it's going to fall off for them anytime soon. But we'll find out. Things break up.
Well, and Trevor Lawrence is starting to look like what we thought was going to happen. That's the big one. Coaching.
But he wasn't at the beginning of the season, is my point.
Yeah.
Remember, Liam Cohen was pounding on his chest, like, hit him here with it. Like, Trevor wasn't doing it. That defense was holding him together.
Man, I wish some dude named Liam would talk to me like that. You know what I'm saying? like that's the good for him, man. Like,
he was a college quarterback, wasn't he? I think.
Yeah. He kicked it at UMass with Victor Cruz. Yeah. That was his man. It's still like, okay, I guess this is like when he told Robert Saleh to keep my name out your mouth, I was just like, oh, Mr. White Man, what are we doing here?
I gotta do a quick Liam Google to make sure I'm right about this thing. Yeah.
By the way, do you know what Liam is short for? Liam is short for William.
Oh.
I had long wondered where the hell these Liams come from, but that is the origin of the name Liam, is that it's short for William, and I think that's trying too hard to make a nickname.
I thought Liam's not a name?
No, Liam is like, even if it is a name, it is a derivative of William. It's like, yeah, but I was just like, wow, why would you do that? Because I'd always wondered where the hell it came from.
I know people named Dre, but I assume that at one point it wasn't a Dre, it was an Andre or something like that.
Yeah, then Dre became so mainstream that every now and then you just get a Dre.
Yep.
Did you get what you were looking for?
Yeah, sometimes we like to communicate in show, and I just wanted to send you that, which I wasn't sure about.
Let me see. Word?
Yeah, keep his name out your mouth.
Hey, I can't. Oh, Okay.
I thought so, but I had to double check for my man Liam.
Yo, that was him. Okay, I was somebody. I was trying to remember who I had seen a picture of him and his folks.
Yeah.
And it was him. Where I was like, yo, let me zoom in on this picture a little bit more.
Yeah, that's why he gives you that R&B Duval. That man, he like a little rhythm and blues Duval.
I tell you this, though. He appears to have some very strong genes. Them look like Mike McDaniel's kids.
The kids they do look like when they are applying for NFL jobs, they're gonna be like, no, we check that box too.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to tell you.
Yeah, we don't really need to talk about it that much. You know, let's focus on what we got in common, baby. What we got in common. All right, coming up next, we got more playoff talk here on The Right Time. Every Friday from 6 to 7:30, it's NBA Happy Hour on FanDuel, your pregame for the weekend. We're talking limited time specials you won't want to miss. Boosts, bonuses, surprises, all dropping in the app during happy hour. So before tip-off, check the FanDuel app to see the week's special. Then make your move before the shot clock expires at 7:30 Eastern. It's the perfect way to start your weekend. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour every Friday from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
21 plus and present in select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kansas, Wyoming. Opt-in requirement. Awards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsduel.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
We all have goals for 2026, but who can help us achieve them? It's hard to find people who are so good at what they do. It's like if you're hiring, how can you find the best people for all the different roles on your team? Easy. ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/Bomani. ZipRecruiter's matching technology works fast to find top talent, so you won't waste time or money. You can find out right away how many job seekers in your area are qualified for your role. In ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can instantly unlock top candidates' contact info. Let ZipRecruiter help you find the best people for all of your roles. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Just go to this exclusive web address right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. ZipRecruiter.com/Bomani. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/Bomani. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Back on the right time, Domonique Foxworth. We mentioned very briefly that the Steelers, they're going to be playing against Houston. Hey, man, Texans, that's the Monday night game. Hey, Mike Tomlin, be careful. That's an isolated game. At the very least, you want to keep that one close. And it is possible that the Texans can blow their doors off.
It's prime time. Everybody gonna be locked in, and it's not only this. Is another thing, like I think it was a long time ago when you started like bringing attention to these island games and how important they were. Which I started to notice recently is it's not just the island game, but it's the last game before the next day of programming, and it's like
A1 on the rundown.
What? So the Thursday night games, those, you better not have a bad showing on a Thursday night because we ain't got nothing to do on Friday. You better not choke. So the thing on the Thursday night is worse because the Monday night, we still going to talk about what happened on the weekend, but we're going to start with what happened last night. But when you had a Thursday night game, we ain't projecting nothing. You give us something to talk about. So this is similar to that because it's a Monday night game on the playoffs, and it's also the Steelers. They're like one of these public teams that everyone loves to talk about, and you better hope there's some madness over the weekend because if it's not, but I guess it doesn't matter because it feels like if there's any ownership group that doesn't respond to the fans' outrage, it might be the Steelers, but we are going to tear his ass up on Tuesday morning if it don't look good on Monday night.
And the part of it is when they lose these games and they don't play well,
Right.
it don't be looking in spite of him.
Nah.
Like he keeps it, and I don't mean this pejoratively, but it's not a complex approach. At least it doesn't seem like to what they do there, right? It's kind of a do what you're supposed to do, and then everything from there will work itself out. But they run it up on a team that's just got a different level of talent than they have.
Especially, I mean, obviously on defense. So like this actually is not the worst matchup for them. It's like their front could potentially their defensive front could dominate the Texans offense, which could keep the game close. But in their favor is they don't have to start throwing short passes and screens just because they scared of this pass rush. They scared of every pass rush. That's their offense. So that would be the argument for them, but there's no weak spots on this defense. And the Steelers offense, they get DK back, which helps, but they don't feel like they have an advantage anywhere on that side of the ball.
Yeah. Now I can take this back to coaching carousel because that carousel ain't really finished. Saturday night might be Matt LaFleur's last game as the coach of the Packers. Sunday at 1:00, low key could be Sean McDermott's last game because they got the Jacksonville. They play against Jacksonville on the road, and it just ain't for so long that you can keep going with this. It's kind of what happened with Harbaugh. There's only for so long that coach and quarterback can keep going and not wind up at least playing for the championship before somebody decides to make a decision. And LaFleur, I don't really know what's going on there. I seem to think more highly of him than his bosses do.
Yeah, I I think that those situations are slightly different in that the Bills situation seems obviously much more like the Lamar situation,
Yes.
where they gonna holler at my man after it's all said and done and be like, "Hey, Menace, do you believe? All right, we good." And if the Menace take a second to think about it, they're gonna be like, "Oh, which you like? Let's go look around." But I think the LaFleur thing in Green Bay is definitely different. And Stefanski became attractive candidate because of this year's like crop. As soon as he got fired, I think that LaFleur, his contract is expiring soon, right? That's the major situation there. It's like
He'll
they
be
give an extension.
next year. I think will be the lame duck year.
Oh, next year will be the lame duck year.
I think
Right.
so.
Right. So he has one more year. Yeah, no one ever coaches don't go into a contract with the final year of the contract. Like it never really happens unless it's one of these particularly cheap teams. So like this is the extension time, right? So he has the rest of this year and then next year, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so normally because, and whether it's true or not, but because they want the coach to have ultimate power and respect in the locker room, they won't let a coach as lame duck season. So this is effectively a year where they have to give him an extension or move on from him. So he might be looking around. The problem is he got a quarterback and a team that seems to consistently with Goody man, he be filling that roster, man, consistently. Like I wouldn't want to go nowhere. However, he might be someone who's like, man, let me get up out of here because right now it's a buyer's market, man. It's a buyer's market, and he might want to get out there as a quarterback guy because there's tons of good defensive assistants out there, but if you're a mediocre offensive guy, they're going to move you to the top of the list because they have this foolish misconception that they're smarter over there than we are over here.
Now, can you imagine a world in which Lamar Jackson tries to get himself out of Baltimore? Because he kind of could if he wanted to, right? Like, no guaranteed money left on his deal, a crazy high cap. Like, they got to do something with his deal pronto.
Yeah. I mean, I assume that this was the first step. And that's the interesting thing about, like, I know the thing about him not having an agent comes up often, but him not having an agent and also him not being like super gregarious is like, I wouldn't have made this move unless I had an understanding. Like I would love, and him being unique in that way is I would normally make the leap that they got that figured out, right? It's like this was a conversation. If this was just about any other player, I'd be like, oh, well, if they did that, that means they got that figured out. Because they don't want to end up in a world where they have neither of those guys.
Right. Well, I just know our man Kravitz had a great idea. Lamar forced himself to Atlanta. LaFleur, find your way to Atlanta and let Matt LaFleur have Lamar Jackson, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, and Drake London. Now, of course, the Falcons don't have a first-round pick this year, which would make it very difficult for them to make that move. But good God, if that happened, they'd never have to throw.
In that division.
Playing bums.
Go ahead and get that bye every year. They keep the coordinator, defensive coordinator.
Hey, you ever think that Arthur Blank feel bad about holding the line about that Lamar Jackson thing a couple years ago when they was all colluding to not give him some deal? I was like, you was too old to be acting like this, dog.
I don't know, man. I can't imagine that. It's so dumb.
I'm saying Arthur Blank renegotiating his deal. You know what I'm saying? Every year. There's a big cap hit looming right around the corner every day for Arthur Blank. And instead of finding a way to make it happen, renegotiate that, nah, man, he should have been like, fuck y'all. What you want, young man? You come play for us.
Yeah, y'all could be.
I mean, y'all wind up. They traded picks to get the James Pierce dude. Did they have to move some stuff around to get? No, they did not move things around to get Michael Penix. They just gave Kirk Cousins $1 zillion. Come on, and then drafted a quarterback with a first round pick. Come on, dog.
That was absurd, especially when Lamar was gettable.
Yeah, nah. What you think about that 49ers-Eagles game? Because I watched the 49ers play last week for the first time, and I don't know how long. And I told you, they had 11 dudes on defense. I ain't never heard of 10 of them. And the 11th, I saw Patrick Mahomes walk through on the goal line one time.
Yeah, they in trouble, man. And you saw that offense that seemed unstoppable get stopped by a really good defense. They going up against another really good defense. And I think, which will, if nothing else, slow that offense. But their defense is not a sophisticated, complicated defense. And when you have something like that, you got to have players, right? You can't, I'd say Brian Flores, I think, will elevate guys and he's capable of taking guys because the defense will trick and confuse people. That 49ers, since Kyle Shanahan's been there and through a number of coordinators, it's never been complicated. It's like, we gonna whoop that ass and we're not gonna confuse ourselves. We're gonna play zone on the back end and whoop that ass up front. You ain't got no ass whoopers up there no more, man.
Right.
So you saw what the Eagles look like when they played some bad defenses late in the season. They played the Raiders and they played the Commanders. They scored. They moved the ball. So I don't see it's nuts because the 49ers were a few points away from being the number 1 overall seed, but honestly don't see them putting up too much of a fight against the Eagles.
If they had won that game, they wouldn't have had to leave the crib until 2026. Crazy. Well, I guess it is 2026, but you understand what I'm saying. The official 2026 season. They would have had home field advantage and the Super Bowl was at the crib if they managed to get that far. Now, they was never going to get that far.
They can't stay healthy, man.
Nah, look, man, I just need the Eagles to keep it fun, baby. That's the thing about this. If the Eagles could just keep it's a road game too, so you never know what might happen. Like, the Eagles need to just keep this close and then barely win. And Sirianni seemed way too confident in himself, so we can have clips of AJ Brown looking at him again, like, look at this. You see that? Look at this fool, man.
Yeah, after that Bills game, man, it was a bad throw, man. It was a bad throw. It's some great defense by young Vic Fangio. I guess not young, but Vic Fangio and those guys. And he was walking through the locker room or walking through that tunnel like he just adjusted the shit out of that thing. Like, he out-adjusted everybody at halftime. Like, man.
AJ does not take you seriously at all.
You saw Myles Garrett rolling his eyes at Stefanski?
Oh my God, that was so funny. He's like, I don't lie. And he was like,
it was magical.
Like, you think we don't know? That was honestly, if I had been Jimmy Haslam and I had been thinking about keeping him, and then I saw that video, nah, you gotta go, dog.
Yeah. To be fair, you can go on the roster, any roster, and find some players who don't like their coach. But if it's Myles Garrett giving the side eye, we can't play that.
Well, hold on. It's the side eye, and he wasn't side eyeing into space. He clearly had locked eyes with somebody else. Clearly, they be talking. That sounded like they be talking all the time about how he be lying.
He's like, I don't lie. Have I ever lied to you?
I would love to get a list. Like, the NFLPA needs to do that, where they take the survey of the facilities and the cafeteria and all those different things. like a list of who be lying, like a Pinocchio index of coaches where they just be lying. Like they be lying about stuff that you ain't even got to lie about.
Yeah, that's the thing is that the coaches who should be against the PA doing something like that are the coaches who don't lie. Because you know what that's going to do? That's going to encourage the rest of y'all to be decent.
Yes.
And that might make you better coaches. Like, we're not stupid. We know what's going on here. Tell me the truth, and I'll believe in you. I'll run through a wall and tell me the truth.
Oh, no. See, this is where I disagree with you. It's because them cats that just be lying, it's a lifestyle. So you can tell everybody that they be lying, and you know what they going to do? Lie about the fact that they be lying.
That's fair.
Like there's no truth that a lie can't fix.
That's true. You don't think that there is? So yeah, I agree that there are some people. I've been around long enough to know some people they just be lying. But you don't think there's like some middle ground of people who are lying for advantage or lying for ease? It's like, I go see this player, it's much easier to tell him that he got a chance to make this team and that he's starting or he's benched because the guy in front of him is better than him, or the guy in front of him, or you tell him whatever you got to tell him. This guy is, he's better in this position because of whatever reason. Then to be honest and be like, look, we got a lot of money tied up in him. He's going to get all the chances.
Or is this a matter of, because the guys that you just described right there, they don't have that much leverage. So, like, finding out who be lying, they don't really get to do something about it. How about if we could somehow, like, you know how you got, like, adjusted DVOA, adjusted net yards per attempt, right? The lying is adjusted for how good a player is or is not. Like, you can't be lying to your best player. But you can lie to these bums, maybe. You got a little bit more leeway in that regard.
I like next gen lying statistics. We got the advanced analytics on you.
Live VOA. Like we on live VOA, right? Like it's a different. And so if people don't know how DVOA works, it works from down to down. And so if you get 10 yards on first and on second and 8, that is treated as more impactful than getting 10 yards on second and 17. Right? It's as a function of yards to go is the way that they come up with the formula. And so, yeah, man, if you know, these 3rd and 18 cats on the bottom, tell them all kinds of lies, you know, but that 3rd and 1 up there, you better be straight up with him.
I can't tell you no lies, man. That's absolutely right.
Brother, I can't even lie. I can't lie to you.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, you can tell who you want to tell. Like, maybe you can tell them the truth, but I'm gonna keep it real with you. Oh gosh.
And in football, it seemed like the kind of place where, like, you might as well just tell the truth.
That's my thought, man. Like, I never got the coaches who was out there lying to anybody, even the 2nd and 18 guys. Like, we ain't dumb. We know the deal. Why? By the time you got here, and especially these modern players who are in college in a way that's more professional than it's ever been, who are transferring from year to year, like, let's keep it real, man. Like, my hands are tied on some things. I want to do this. I know Jeff told on my show the other day, Saturday, was talking about how his O-line coach back in the day was like, look, we all working towards the same thing. I'm going to tell you how I want to do it. If you do it your way out there, better work. But if you do it my way, I can tell you how to fix it. But like, we all gonna get fired. Like, I don't want to fight you. That's the thing that coaches making that mistake all the time, where it's like, they're so like incentivized to be top down. It's like the best teams I've ever been around was the ones where we was much closer to peers, and we could be honest about it. Like, yeah, we got to do this. I don't feel comfortable about this matchup. You know what? I would never say that to anybody who I didn't trust and believe in.
Right. No, this is
lying. I got him. Don't worry. I got him.
Yeah. I believe
worried as hell. No, I don't roll no safety over here. You know how many times I told him I ain't need no safety help? Never tell nobody I need no safety help, but I was hoping that he knew.
You want to slide a little something over there, baby? That'll
Yeah. I mean, if you need it somewhere else, go ahead. You put it over there. But I'm just saying, if he ain't spoken for,
if you ain't doing nothing else,
bring him on over here.
Just a couple steps.
Yeah, just show some color over there.
Hey, how bad would it look for Justin Herbert if they're going on the road to play against New England, but if Drake made a quarterback over there and he outplays Justin Herbert. I mean, let's not forget Justin Herbert was out there when they blew that lead to the Jaguars that year.
I think the thing with Justin Herbert is he's already got the built-in excuse. I think we look at this season for Justin Herbert already as a demonstration in overcoming. Like, it's not only that he lost his tackles, it's that team was built around having two incredible tackles. So it's not, and you didn't go from like having one good tackle or two mediocre tackles to having like bad offensive line. You went from saying like, yeah, we don't got the best receiver in the league, but we got these tackles and we can do whatever we want with that. So like, ultimately, I think if I'd have told you, not if I'd have told you before the season started, when they was all hurt, I was like, damn, lost year. So it feels unfair. Well, maybe people will do it, but honestly, it feels unfair to, I guess it depends on how he plays, but it feels unfair to then go and be like, Justin Herbert, you do stink. Like, nah, kind of overachieved, all things considered.
I want to bring up one last thing before we start wrapping this up to get out of here. And I don't know if you saw this. What you know about Ginger Cuz?
Nah, just
hold on. You don't know about Ginger Cuz? Hold on, I gotta send you. I've been saving this all week to send you to show you Ginger Cuz. I don't really understand. Like, I want to know the full thought process on this, but for those who don't know, I've just sent this to Domonique, and I think that they'll be able to put this on the screen for YouTube.
Oh.
But when the Seahawks were named division champs, Marshawn Lynch sent out a tweet, and it was a picture with a bunch of guys on the team, and the demographics were largely as an NFL team goes. And Marshawn Lynch sent a tweet because Marshawn Lynch somehow gets to say whatever he wants. And his tweet said, and I will quote but not quote, "Good shit, young N-words." And then it's like he looked around the room and said, "And Ginger Cuz," in reference to Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold is now hashtag Ginger Cuz.
You know what? The thing that jumps out to me the most is like, if I'm Cooper Kupp, am I complimented or offended? Like,
right.
Are you including me or are you excluding me? Like, am I part of the crew?
Well, first of all, in this picture, Cooper Kupp looked like he in the same rap group with that white boy off of Beverly Hills 90210 that used to be rapping. Like, he got curls and stuff. Like, he looked like he had a boy band out there, right?
Yeah, but he the bad boy though.
Yeah.
That's he got
fair.
the leather jacket and holy jeans.
That's fair. But yeah, he calls Sam Darnold Ginger Cuz. Have you seen Marcus Teague, Jeff Teague's brother on 520, telling the story about how they was somewhere and he was with the Celtics, and Jason Collins was on the team. And I think they had gone to China or somewhere. And again, we're going to paraphrase here. And Kevin Garnett's getting everybody hyped, and he's like, "Yeah, and we gonna have all the girls. Hell yeah!" And then he looked at Jason Collins and was like, "Oh, we gonna get something for you too." We gonna get something for you too. And that's kind of how Ginger Cuz felt. Like, keeping in mind that he could have just completely edited his tweet and written it a bit differently to include everybody. No.
That is not a good tweet. An edited tweet is not a good tweet. You would not have shared it with me if he was like, "You know what? Let me fix this. Let me call them my brothers." Nah, I can't include that. Yeah.
He said, and Ginger Cuz.
KG, man, I did see that story, and it's funny. It's how I feel about, like, we gotta remember it's progress, you know?
Yes.
Like, and it don't always. I imagine that Kevin Garnett grew up a lot like we grew up, as far as like the way that you feel and think about things and the way that people around you talk about.
No, that was a big jump up for him. For him to be like, "Don't worry, brother, we will find what works for you."
And this is something that I've been thinking about, and maybe this is something that I should not share. Maybe I will share it or maybe you'll edit it out or whatever. But it's like, when I think back on times when we could have done something better as a society, you gotta congratulate people for progress that they've made.
I agree.
Like, that was the big thing. Like, I get it. My football mindset is, let's get better. That one's behind us. Let's get better. And while we should celebrate the people who are in the places who have overcome, we also got to remember to celebrate the people who encouraged and allowed it to overcome. Like February need to be about them too.
Brother, do you know how much I would love to see some video of Kevin Garnett on the streets of Shanghai try to find a man for Jason Collins? Like, no, not me. My friend, he over there.
He's so determined too. I don't think he would let the language barrier get in the way. That man, he gonna bang his head on the stanchion and then hit the streets like, "Hey, what's up? What you think? You all right?"
And talking with his hands, right? Because you got to talk with your hands when you don't speak the language, right? Like you just gotta. It's like playing charades. Like you gotta try to come up.
This is definitely for not on the air. Like the hand motion.
We keeping this like he's trying. I'm not saying which hand motion.
No. I'm saying the next part where I was going after that. I was
no.
How are you wishing to communicate what you want to communicate?
No. Like I just. The next question for Marshawn Lynch is: does he know Sam Darnold's name? Like, did he look at that picture and was left uncertain which was Cooper Kupp and which was Sam Darnold?
I think the prominence of the photo assumed it was a quarterback. I think it's more likely that he did not know his name, which like is consistent with the trajectory that Marshawn Lynch is on. As like he's headed fast for like cool ass old dude. And cool ass old dude don't know nobody name.
Yeah.
Nicknames for everybody.
What if he was like, "Hey, cuz, I ain't know Andy Dalton was still playing, cuz."
Ginger cuz. I'm sure that's gonna get picked up. They probably got the t-shirts printed already. They're gonna be people at the game like Ginger cuz. Ginger cuz better get it together though.
By the way, we're gonna talk about them next week because they don't play this week because they had the best record in the NFC. They are really good. And it really does only come down to Ginger cuz.
Boy, like they were fortunate. So I did that game with the playbook telecast. So like we dived deep into the X's and O's. It was the first time I like kind of called the game. And in preparing for that game, I watched so much film and was not surprised at what I saw on the field by the film that I watched. And he made a really great play on the 3rd and 10 where he scrambled till somebody got open and connected it late in the game. But the way that they were calling that game, and you get the all 22 when you watch on the playbook way, and it was not great, man. It was not great. They got so fortunate that 49ers defense couldn't stop the run. They're a team that doesn't run the ball well. They ran it well better recently or lately, but they don't run the ball well. They're most likely going to run into some teams that's going to force Ginger cuz to make some plays, and the coaches don't believe in Ginger cuz at this point.
Dude, it's year 8 of this, and we still hold. I ain't gonna say we, because it's they, and I mean they still holding out hope for Ginger cuz, man. They refuse to give up on Ginger cuz.
But to be fair to them, as soon as they was ready to give up on him, he was supposed to be a bench warmer in Minnesota. He went off.
He did. But hey, look at the way the year before that Shanahan was talking about him. Like it was still like we are in a world where the platonic ideal quarterback for the most, like the kind of prototype type now for offensive mind is Kirk Cousins. That is so insane. Like that is
I feel like we've moved.
I mean, that's what Kyle has said for all this time. The fact that his brain ever said that. But all these guys, it's the new West Coast offense in the sense that they just like, hey, if you just do what I say, but you got to lose. And it's never that simple, guys.
Yeah. And I mean, Kyle stumbled into a guy, in Purdy, who is not that.
That is very true.
He's not that. Like the one thing that I'll give Purdy that falls into that category is he will trust the play.
Yes.
And he'll throw, like he talks about this often, he'll throw blindly. But Purdy, my man, hit that Dougie like he is his play style is consistent with the way that he behaves out there. And I think you gotta have some of that. You gotta have a little bit of that variable out there. And Ginger cuz don't bring that variable too much, man.
Oh, high stakes for Ginger cuz. We gonna see. But that is Domonique Foxworth. Check him out on the Domonique Foxworth Show, available where all fine podcasts are given away for free. My brother, I appreciate you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Bo, before we get out of here, we're going to do 3 quick questions presented by FanDuel. Peach Bowl is tonight. Oregon playing Indiana. Indiana favored by 3.5 points. Do you expect this big run by Indiana and Curt Cignetti to continue tonight?
I expect it to continue. They beat Oregon in their own house a couple of months ago. Maybe Dan Lanning will just cook up the magic formula to come out here and beat them, but I have no reason to think that Indiana is going to lose to anybody based on what we see.
Right. I mean, they've had the best coach all year. They've had, we've had our questions about Mendoza, but he's been the best quarterback all year. And on a neutral site, it sort of just feels like their year, everything that's happened. Reports came out Thursday. Curt Cignetti looks like he's getting a contract extension, going to be paid $12.5 million per year. Mark Cuban's coming in on their NIL. Do you think he's the best coach in college football right now?
I mean, he had the best coaching season in the world. I say the world, and I mean that literally.
Right.
Last year.
Right.
And then he did it again this year, except even better. It's the most impressive coaching thing that I could think of anybody ever pulling off. Who's better? If somebody's better, I can't tell you who that person is right now. Like, it's almost at that point now where, like, when you talk about who the greatest rapper of all time is, maybe you don't have the same answer as me, but there's some people who have to be in the discussion.
Right.
This man in 2 years has absolutely put himself at the top of the discussion.
Right. You go 25-2 at Indiana and
Indiana.
And in Bloomington of all places. And then, currently the favorites to win the national title.
And the 2 were against Ohio State and Notre Dame last year, if I recall.
Right. The team, Ohio State, who won the national title last year, and Notre Dame, who was the runner-up.
Yes.
So that's an absurd job from a coach coming from James Madison. And finally, a lot of rumors have come around as quarterbacks start to declare for the draft what Oregon quarterback Dante Moore is going to do. If you were Dante Moore, would you stay at Oregon and get possibly drafted by the New York Jets?
Hey, man, for the money that it looked like these college quarterbacks are getting, I would much rather make $5 million a year playing for Oregon than to make $10 million a year playing for the fucking Jets. I can't make this any clearer. I mean, there's no way around it. No. If I can keep getting this money and living this college life, or I could go live with the misery that has been the Jets, oh, no. Like, if they told you could play against the Jets, at least then you never throw any interceptions. Maybe we talking about something different, right? But we not. We talk about playing for the Jets. I would stay with this good money I'm getting right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us here on The Right Time. We do this 4 times a week. Ryan Brumley handling everything behind the scenes. Thank you, sir. Also, remember, hit the voicemail line, 323-596-7767. Remember, follow The Right Time. Subscribe, like, rate us, review us, give us 5 stars. You only give us 4 stars, I'm inclined to believe you are a hater. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of days. Take it easy.